Good morning, you guys. Happy Friday to you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and are ready to kick this week off strong. It's the last week of the month, which means we can accomplish a lot of big things. So anyway, I hope that today gives you a little bit of extra motivation to go out and accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. We appreciate you so much. My name is Lynette Cunningham, Master Pro 10, and very proud to be a part of Team True Blue and the amazing people who make up this group. So welcome to the call, you guys. Thank you for jumping on. I've already seen some people that I love jumping on with me this morning, so thank y'all for tuning in. You guys, I really wanted to speak from the heart today. So I've got some things prepared that I hope resonate with you. But before we get into that, I want to kind of give you a couple updates. For one, if you joined our live LVA training online a week ago Saturday, then you know that we mentioned something about our team mixer. And I was hesitant to say anything because it wasn't set in stone yet. And I guess there was reason for my hesitation because I since have been in contact with the convention center for our plans, and things got changed on us. The price that they had quoted me in the contract, they have renegotiated. And they are asking, in my opinion, too much. So we had tried to switch things up. You know that every Elite Academy, we congregate together. It's usually just with drinks and music and socialization. This time we were going to try to incorporate dinner. It's not going to happen, you guys. So I hate to disappoint for any of you who are looking forward to that. But in your behalf, they weren't going to give us a good deal. It was pretty awful, actually. So here's the deal. We're going to have, and we'll post it on the site, but Saturday night at 8 p.m., we will have a team mixer that'll go till about 11:30 at night. And there will be a cash bar available. So here's what I'm going to suggest. I know that right across from the convention center is the Hilton. We've been there many times. The Hilton has a food court area where you can go get reasonably priced food, unlike what the convention center was offering us. So you can go right over there. Our session ends Saturday at 6:30 p.m. That food court area is going to be open till 8 p.m. at night. You can jet over there, get yourself something to eat, and then come back and hang with your team so that we can encourage each other, encourage each one another, network. It's what it's all about, and have a good time, make more memories together. So that will be Saturday night from 8 to 11:30 p.m. And there are other restaurants in the area, but just keep in mind the crowds. And if you try to, to go to a restaurant, the chances of getting back at a reasonable time make it tough. So just some thoughts for Saturday night, okay? And you guys know we're big on being at Elite Academies. For those of you who attend regularly, you know what I'm talking about. And if you attend regularly, it's because you recognize the significance of being there. And you guys, it's coming up on us. We've only got a few weeks left till Elite Academy. And, for Floridians and, East Coast people, it's a little bit more expensive to get there. The flights are pricey. I'm taking our whole family. And I was like, you want how much for these flights? But the reality is at the end of the day, it grows our business, which grows our paycheck. So it may be a couple $100 more than you anticipated, but you'll get it back tenfold. So be the leader that you are, get to Elite Academy, and encourage your team to get there. And you know what? There's incredible stories of people who have made some major sacrifices to get to Elite Academy, and it's paid off for them. It's essential to the success of your business. So I'm encouraging you to do whatever you can to get there, and know that the more people you have on your team with you, the greater benefit you will have from being in attendance. So encourage your team to get there, rally, do whatever you can do to encourage them to come, help strategize, team up in hotel rooms, do whatever you need to do to be there, because it's that critical and important to the success of your business. Okay? So here's what I wanted to spend some time on today. Last week, I loved the Monday weekly call that was done with Chad and Melissa. And Melissa had me reminiscing a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm reading Sarah's message. I would have never made it through the tough times without attending Elite Academy. You're so right, Sarah. That applies to so many people. So I'm right there with you. But anyway, you guys, Melissa had me reminisce a little bit because I started reflecting on some of the things that we went through in growing our business. And here's the other thing. At Elite Academy, they're going to have a panel made up of mompreneurs. So it's going to be geared for the moms out there who are building a business and juggling household responsibilities and kids and all of that at the same time. So it's going to be really, really cool. But because that's on my mind, because Melissa spoke about, our early days last week, it made me feel the importance of sharing some of the challenges that we went through. Because here's the deal. I feel like even, Brandon and I have been doing this for 8.5 years now. And sometimes I even have forgotten some of the things that we went through in the beginning. So we don't talk about it very much. And the reason that I think it's important is because we deal with people daily who are joining us in this business, and they're going through those same struggles that we went through. And because it's somewhat of a distant memory, for one, maybe we're not as compassionate as we could be to their circumstance. Maybe we, in our minds, think, well, I did it, so put your big girl panties on. I don't know. I just think it's important that we're compassionate and that we think about the struggles that people go through, because when we do that, we are more relatable, right? And when we can relate to somebody, I think often about the fact when somebody has been through something difficult and survived and excelled, it tells me I can do it, right? If someone else has done it, then I can do it. And we want to share our stories always in a way that helps people to realize that they can do it, because they can, right? That's one of the things that makes me so passionate about sharing this business, is that if somebody wants to do this, they can. If they want to succeed, they can. It's completely up to them whether or not that's going to happen. And so it's important that we always are sharing in a way that resonates with people. So when I look back to the beginning, I know the struggles that I went through. And even to this day, you guys, this may sound silly to you, but for me, it's not the easiest thing in the world to talk to all of you for an allotted amount of time. I'm like, in my mind, I worry about, well, can I come up with enough content in that time? Will it come off in a way that is inspiring or motivating? Or will I just be jabbering about nothing and it not make any sense? And so when I do these, it's a little bit nerve-wracking to me. And you may not think that's the case. Whether you do or not, it is, right? Before I pressed live, my heart was beating. That's just me. It's how I am. I want to bring value. And so the point is that never goes away, you guys. No matter how much success you have, no matter how much you've done it, you're constantly going to grow in this business, and you're constantly going to have to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. And if you're not willing to do that, then chances are you're not going to grow, and nor will your business, okay? So when I look back to the beginning and me sharing this information with people, you guys, it scared me to death, okay? It scared me. It scared me bad. When I would call somebody, my heart would just beat so uncontrollably that I would literally get out of breath. When I would serve as third-party validation for people, it sounded like I was running laps while I was talking. And I know that the person on the other end of the phone could tell, and I didn't want to let my distributor down that I was third-party validation for. But y'all, I'm just telling you, it was nerve-wracking, not to mention that I had a 2- and a 4-year-old on my heels. And I'm sure we'll get to share some of those stories on the Mompreneur panel at Elite Academy. But for you moms out there, it's no joke, right? It's tough. So not only are you trying to overcome your own head case, but then if you're a mom, you've got kids that are constantly right there, right? You know what I'm talking about. I would do a 3-way phone call, and I would try to strategize, right? I knew the call was coming. I'd get the toys out, the snacks. You try to set it all up so that you will be undisturbed. And your kids have a sensor. They know mom's trying to accomplish something. I must intervene. It doesn't matter the age. It doesn't matter, baby, on up. It doesn't matter until there's, they reach a point of maturity where they understand, don't you dare, which really is much later. But in those younger years, they know that you're trying to accomplish something and they are there to attack. So I'd be already, my heart's going. And now my kids are following me. And I would go from room to room with these kids on my heels, trying to talk, trying to yell, trying to get my attention because I was on a phone call and not giving my attention to them. And I'm telling you, I tried using every type of sign language that could be used with these kids, pointing at them, pointing out the room, the eyes, the intensity, like, don't you dare, all while trying to do a three-way phone call that I didn't want to do in the first place, right? So it's tough, you guys, and I get it. And you have to know that you're doing this for you. You are working on changing your life. You are working on changing the life of your children, and it's in your control to do that. So it doesn't matter how nervous you are. It doesn't matter what your children are doing to keep you from succeeding. Do it anyway, because you have to know that other people have already done it and won, right? My kids know now. It's so much simpler, right? My daughter's going to be 11. My son's 13. I have a little door tag. I say, when this is on the door, don't come in. They get it. I've got my little door tag right there. We shouldn't be interrupted. I say shouldn't because you never know. But nonetheless, you go through these things and you grow and you win, right? So those are memories of things that I went through that I can relate to a new person with. So when I have someone come to join me as a business partner and their mom, I can relate on a different level because I know what they're gonna have to go through and what I already went through, and I can help them with that. So that's the other thing. Every challenge that you face and overcome empowers you to help the next person to face and overcome that challenge. And I remember some of the different things I would do because I never wanted to let my team down, right? I always, like a mom first, of course, but I also felt a high level of responsibility in my team to be there and assist them whenever they needed me. And I jumped through hoops to make that happen. And when they were younger, you guys, I was very creative in ways that I would go about supporting my team and still being the mother that I felt I needed to be. And here's the thing, everybody has different comfort zones, right? I'm so old school in that respect. I'm just telling you, some people may go, I don't get anything. I don't understand what you're saying at all. I don't operate that way, and that's okay. That's just me and how I am. But for me, I was raised in a household where my mom was home all the time. She was mom. She was there for us. And my dad was the breadwinner, and he would come home at night and was there for us. But I never wanted to, there's part of me is I could go all out action mode, but I don't want to be absent from my kids, right? So the things that I would try to make happen is I tried to marry the two. So instead of having a babysitter every time I wanted to go do a one-on-one appointment to serve as third party for someone or for my own appointment, I would try to strategize where that appointment was held. Chick-fil-A had a little play area, and we'd go around time to eat so that we could get the kids what they wanted and then off to the little play area right as my appointment started. And my kids loved that because that's the only time I took them to those places. But it worked. It was a win-win. They thought I was like the best mom ever. And I was able to accomplish my appointment while my kids are in a caged area. So I could just look over, see that they were still okay, and conduct my business. That's a perfect scenario for me. It's getting it all done and accomplished. I also would have, trainings and stuff. If we had a new distributor, I'd have people come to my house, either right around nap time or right around the little privileged amount of time that I would give them on the television, because I didn't want them watching TV all day. So I would strategize and have them watch TV while I was trying to do a training. So the point is, the moral of the story with those scenarios is that you have to think outside of the box sometimes, you guys. And it's not easy. It's never easy, but it is worth it, right? So as you come across a challenge, you need to ask yourself, how am I going to overcome this challenge for my benefit, for the benefit of my family, and for the benefit of the people that I'm going to bring to the table who are going to face these same challenges, right? So you're thinking outside of the box for people. I love a distributor with LifeVantage, Amber Swanson, shared that when she was coming into the business, she was a single mom and she did not have the money. She was in a bad place, but she had a garage sale and she sold stuff so that she could come into the business. And I look back at that and I'm like, that's legit. Like, that's serious stuff right there. Like, that's recognizing the need for change and then doing whatever you need to do to make it happen. And so there's a high level of respect that I have for her and the action that she took to make a change in her life. And she lives a different life today now because of it. Her daughter Presley lives a different life today because of it. So easy? No, never. For me, I didn't even have a babysitter, you guys. My mom and my sister were the only ones who had ever watched my children up until the time that I came into LifeVantage. I didn't want anybody else to watch my kids. I'm that, I was going to use the word controlling, but I don't like that idea. Protective. That's the word I want to use. Just very protective of my kids. And so I, again, was pushed to step outside of my comfort zone in hiring somebody that I felt that I could depend on. And the funny thing, that still hasn't changed. When Brandon and I go to an elite academy, like in the summertime, we usually will take the kids with us and we will either bring someone along or have, somebody in attendance. This time, fortunately for me, my sweet cousins are going to be there and help out with the kids so that they're, not forced to be in session when they would rather not be in session. But for me, during the school year, to leave for an elite academy and leave my kids with just anybody, it's not going to happen. Every time I leave town, I have to give serious thought as to who can care for my kids. And for us, we've been fortunate in that my in-laws are usually available to come to the house and watch my kids. But it's a challenge every single time I leave the house. And it's going to be different for each person. We all have our own challenges. I know that there's plenty of men who are watching from our team today, and I know you've got your own challenges. I just wanted to speak from a mom's perspective today, because I feel like emotionally we operate a little bit different. One of the things that I'm going to discuss and share at Elite Academy is the mom guilt that you have, because this business allows you to determine how much time you're going to spend with it versus how much time you're not. And for a mom, you have that same choice with the amount of time that you're given to your kids or not. And there's this constant struggle and juggling that you're doing. So if anything, I've learned to be very, very focused on giving quality time to my kids so that I don't have that overwhelming guilt that can come with doing things that I don't necessarily have to do. I mean, you can grow this business 24 hours a day. You have to kind of put parameters in place. So you guys know I'm big on priorities. I talk about it often because it's what we do this for, right? We do this for our family. So I don't understand sacrificing your family to do it. So it means having to think it through, be very intentional about how your time is spent, and making the most of it. So the reason I'm sharing these things, you guys, is because I feel like it's important that everybody realize that everyone has struggles. They come in different shapes and sizes. Some are bigger than others, but the reality is perception is reality. So if it's important to me, and if it's stressful to me, and leaving my kids is like my struggle, it's still my struggle, right? Perception is reality. If that's a stressful situation to me, then it is what it is. So we all have different levels of emotions and stress that we have to deal with, but it's just how we're going to deal with it and what we're going to do with it at the end of the day. So I just really kind of wanted to share from the heart on those things because I do think it's relevant. I also think about the things that we did that were not necessarily related to being a mom, but just related to succeeding. You guys, Brandon and I, we pulled out all the stops when we started this business. We did what others weren't willing to do. And what I mean by that is when somebody came to town to support or to, do a meeting for us or whatever it was, if they were coming to town, we were there. We wanted to make the most of that time with them. So if they needed picked up from the airport at midnight, we'll pick you up. If they needed dropped off at 4:30 in the morning, we'll drop you off. Did we want to do that? No. No. Did we do it? Every time. Every time. Why? Because we felt like there was value to be gained. Because we wanted them to know who we were. We wanted to build relationships. We wanted to let them know we were for real, right? But more importantly, we knew that we could learn from their knowledge. And so we made ourselves available. We would do meetings when no one else would show for the meetings. We would, I think about the fact that I wasn't comfortable having people come to my house for in-home meetings because my kids were so little. And I was concerned about safety with strangers coming and all of that deal. I told you I was protective. What can I say? Anyway, so Brandon and I would rent a hotel space so that we could have meetings. And we did that week after week, year after year. And our group grew. So then we had to get a bigger room. And I remember about a year and a half into it, talking about charging people $5 at the door to help cover the expense. Now, who had been covering the expense for the year and a half prior? That'd be us. Why? Because we believed in what we were doing. We were not going to make any excuses. We were going to build this thing with or without people. It was just a mindset. We're doing this, right? And so, and it was funny because I remember thinking, $5, you think they'll go for it? Like what you think? And we got some pushback. You want us to pay? You want us to pay $5 to come? And we're like, but you don't understand. Like it's not, nobody's collecting the money. It's going to pay for the expense. You guys, it's comedy now, but those are the type things that 8.5 years later, you don't even think about. Trainings that we'd done when we didn't have the qualifications to do trainings, but we were the highest ranked person in the area, whether it be a Pro 3, it didn't matter. We just did it. And we got the facility and we got the water and we just did what we needed to do. So at the end of the day, I'm so thankful that we were in the position to be forced to step up. Because had we not, then we probably wouldn't have. So when somebody says they're in an area that doesn't have anything going on or, they don't have anybody to support them, I think to myself, well, you've got a choice. You could sit back and wait for that person to show up to help you grow your business. Or you could just go grow it. And I'm going to tell you, the ones who decide to just go grow it are the ones who win the most, right? I know many stories of people in that situation. Brandon and I, of course, being some of them. When you do it, you grow faster and you're empowered to be able to help others to do the same. So don't ever hold yourself back from stretching and pushing to make things happen. Don't ever underestimate what you're capable of. Don't ever feel like you're not worthy or not enough, because you are. And you've got a lot of value to bring, and a lot of people are going to benefit from what you bring to the table if you're doing your part, right? Because that's the other piece of this. You've got to make sure that you've got something to give, that you're filling yourself with information that is going to be of value to others. Because if you're not, then you may not have anything to give, and people won't stick around for that, right? So we're forced to constantly grow in this business. I love that. I don't know where I'd be today without LifeVantage. I feel like Brandon and I would have success with whatever we're doing. It's my mindset. I don't doubt that at all. But I don't think that I would have the personal development that I've had because of this business. But that's a choice. I've made the choice to make that the case. And Brandon's made the choice to make that the case. And you can make that same choice. So that's what I'd encourage you to do. I think too about the situation that Brandon and I are in now because of those choices, you guys. And I'm going to tell you, it came with plenty of stress and plenty of hardship as we were growing and not understanding the process that's involved in doing that. But today, I feel like my family benefits on such a high level. And I can't believe, can y'all hear that? I'm getting a little emotional. I didn't expect that this morning, but, sorry. You know, I feel like my family has so much. Not materially. I could care less about that. But we have so much from each other. And I know that that's due to our circumstance. I know it's due to who we are as people and the things that we feed ourselves. But our circumstance is such that we can give to our kids in ways that others can't. And I'm very, very thankful for that. And I'm very passionate about others being in that same situation. So, we've got a big job to do. I don't know of anyone who would not want to have the same choices that we have, right? I don't know. That person doesn't exist, right? So, it's on our shoulders to share it with them and to do our part and to hold their hand when they're going over those bumpy roads, and to assure them that it will get better, and to assure them that on the other side of that challenge is victory, right? So, enough of that goodness. I was not prepared to go down that road. I don't know what shift happened in my mind. But anyway, I've lost track of time. I don't know if this time is right on my clock or not. For you live people out there, can you tell me what time it is? I don't even see a clock on my phone. So anyway, let's see. I'm looking for some responses. What time is it? Somebody help me out. I guess I'm going to shift on over to our final announcements because I have a feeling that I'm running out of time. Our final announcements. You guys, thank you, Tanea. All right, I know I got to wrap this thing up a little bit. This is the last week to qualify for Puerto Vallarta. So not to qualify, but to get the double points. You as the person who is doing it, but also the enroller of that person. Double points. It's the last week to make that happen. Also, it's the last week for rank advancement. You guys know at Elite Academy, they announce the rank that you've accomplished. Brandon and I were like laser focused on accomplishing new ranks for each Elite Academy. You know that makes a huge difference for you and your team, okay? So if you don't know your numbers, figure them out, find out how far you are from your next rank, and more importantly, help the people on your team to figure it out. Chances are there's a handful of them who have no idea that they're within range of a new rank. Help them. And you know what? The byproduct of that is that you may hit the rank that you're looking to hit as well. And then double points for Puerto Vallarta. Okay. Let's see. I want to leave you with this. I got a thought for the day. Get out a pencil and pen. This is your thought for the day. The reason people give up on their dreams is because they think their dreams are free. The reason people give up on their dreams is because they think that their dreams are free. My friends, they're not free. It's going to come with sacrifice, and it's going to come with hardships, and it's going to come with tough times. But your dreams are worth it, right? You know what you're working for. You know that we have the vehicle to help you to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish. So it's just a matter of paying the price. So don't give up on your dreams. They're not free. You have to go pay the price, and then you get what you want. So thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you for shedding a tear with me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, I told you, emotions. Love you guys, and we'll see y'all real soon in Anaheim. Take care.